reacting as I would like it to be. But we're going to work on it. So let's get going, folks. Thank you all for being here. Man, I've got folks from Facebook. I've got folks from LinkedIn, from Twitter, from all my different sources here gathered up today. Some of you are on Zoom. Thank you very much for being here. We are going to talk tonight about thinking into results, how to produce the results that you want, right? The science of how the world's wealthiest people think, act, and operate. This right here could be some of the most important information that you hear. And I can promise you that regardless of whether you work with a mentor now already, you're looking for something new, you're trying to grow your business, or you're just getting started, there will be something in here that will speak to you and help you to get to that next level. So, what is this exactly, right? You got a fly on a window. This right here is the majority of people in the world. They're on the window, they want to get out. We've all seen it. That fly relentlessly banging against the window, trying to get out, trying to get loose, trying to get out into the wide world and into something greater. But they're stuck, banging their heads up against an invisible wall that they don't even understand. This is the majority of the population. This is the majority of the world. Now, looking at the picture, we can see that if this little fly here would just move a foot or so down, he could find the way out and he could get into a better world. But unfortunately, we get stuck and we just keep on charging over and over again. And so we end up like this, just flopping. We end up stuck and beating our heads against this wall until we're done, until the end, right? Now, I do apologize again for my lack of finesse with this, but I did want to get this turned on as well. Forgive me for that. Taking a little bit longer than I should to get things ready. But essentially, what ends up happening is that people end up being stuck. They end up being stuck and not understanding how to move past it, how to get to this life that they want. The nice cars, the nice house, the nice suit, whatever it is that you dream for, right? Whether it be the private jet and a Lambo or whether it be just having a nice Subaru and a nice house, doesn't matter. The fact is, if you don't have your head where it's supposed to be, if you're not thinking about things in the right way, you're going to have trouble getting there and you're going to be stuck and you're going to stay stuck. 96% of the world's wealth is earned by 1% of the population. Right? Why is that? What separates that 1% from the rest? That's the question that we want to answer tonight. Why is it that 93% of people get to retirement and have to work second jobs, have to continue looking for part-time work over and over again just to keep up after they're retired? Why? What's the point? And exactly, Alejandro, it's mindset. It's exactly what it is. That's exactly where everything starts, is in your mind. We're simply not taught how to build wealth in school, in university, by our parents. For the most part, people are not taught these things. Right? We go to university because we think it's going to help us to grow. It's going to help us to build into something greater. And yes, it does to an extent. There's nothing wrong with education. But schools don't teach everything that we need in order to build true wealth. They don't teach decision making. They don't teach self-image and how that implies and applies to your work ethic and to what you do. They don't teach wealth building in general. They don't teach paradigms. And paradigms, my friend, that's where the key really is. You see, your paradigms are built into you, and you didn't even ask for them. You didn't put them there, right? So what is a paradigm? Okay, a paradigm is a set of mental programs that have almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, right? We're talking about groups of habits and behaviors that are stored in the subconscious mind that fire off automatically without us even having to think about it. They are built in and they are put there from our environment. Right? When we were born as children, we were born a clean slate. We didn't have any of these predetermined habits built into us, but our parents, our schools, our friends, grandparents, they all built these paradigms into us. And a lot of people don't even realize it. They don't even know. But your brain has an internal operating system, right? It's called your subconscious mind. And this internal operating system controls everything that we do. 94% of our daily actions are subconscious decisions that we don't even consciously have control over. We don't make them on purpose, like walking. Walking is a paradigm. It's a group of habits and decisions that are lumped together that take place all on their own, right? When you go to take a step, you don't think, okay, I've got to lift up my right knee, extend right knee, lower right knee, shift right ankle, right? We don't think that. You don't think through the process. You just decide, I'm going to the kitchen, and you get up and go, right? This is how paradigms work. These are the habitual programs built into our minds. It just happens. It just takes place. Let me ask you a neat little question here that really blew my mind the first time I heard it. But honestly, think about it. When did you choose to walk? When did you choose to speak the first language you ever learned? You didn't. You didn't choose those. You copied the people that were around you. It was built into you. You acquired them. You did not choose them. Smoking is a paradigm. Smoking is an internal mindset with an external expression. You catch that? Smoking is not a physical addiction like most people think that it is. Smoking is a mental program expressed physically. You don't smoke, most people, because they want to, because they choose to. They smoke because it's just habit, it's just what they do. That's a paradigm. That is a program. It is built into you. The thought about your self image, I'm a smoker. And that's what keeps you there. Well, the good news is that wealth building is also a program that is expressed physically. Wealth building is a program that can be taught and learned and built and grown, just like any other habit that you get into. Just like weight loss, diets, gaining weight. Hey, Alejandro, if you want to grab the link out of this to share and go ahead and post it in that outreach group, I'd appreciate it. I forgot to do so. So, yeah, all of this stuff, man, we choose it. These are the habits we teach our children, our friends, our family, the habits that we have. Wealth building is a habit just as much. This is Madison Dalmaso. This is Brian Dalmaso, my mentor. This is his daughter. She's 24 years old now, multimillionaire in her own right. Absolutely amazing young woman because she has this wealth building program built in, right? The science of wealth building, it is a science. It is proven, it is repeatable, it can be shown, taught, and grown, right? This is Bob Proctor and Brian Dalmaso. Brian is my mentor directly. Absolutely amazing man. He's been working with Bob for the last 6 months, right? So here's the history of the content that we teach. So it started with Andrew Carnegie. Now, Andrew Carnegie had the United States Steel Corporation. He was the first recorded billionaire in U.S. history. Right now, he didn't have more than $1 billion, but if you would have taken the amount of money he had then and add up inflation and everything up to today's money, he would have had over $1 billion, right? Now, Andrew Carnegie, he worked with a man by the name of Napoleon Hill. Now, Napoleon Hill, most of us know. We know the name of the Think and Grow Rich book, right? Andrew Carnegie mentored Napoleon Hill, commissioned him to go out and write this book, to go out and interview all of the most successful people he could find, from Henry Ford to, Thomas Edison, all of these massively successful people, and find out what they had in common. Napoleon Hill then mentored a man by the name of Earl Nightingal. Now, Earl Nightingal had the Nightingale Conant Corporation, him and his, partner, and it's amazing. They were some of the first people to put audio books together on self-help and personal development. Earl Nightingale is actually credited with building the self-development and personal development industry and starting it in the first place. So Napoleon Hill mentored Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale then mentored Bob Proctor. Now, Bob Proctor was the VP of sales for the Nightingale Conant Corporation for a while. Then he moved off onto his own. He created the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Sandy Gallagher came in as a partner, built this big company. He's still going to this day. The man is 86 years old and still teaching this information. Now, Bob Proctor has taught Brian Dalmaso. The Matrix Success Network is who I personally work with. They have helped to change my life. Absolutely amazing group of people. And now Brian has taught me, and I am now continuing to grow and to build this legacy is what it really is. So we've gone from Andrew Carnegie, one of the most influential and wealthy people in the world, and from Andrew Carnegie to Napoleon Hill to Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale taught Bob Proctor, and Bob Proctor has now taught Brian Dalmaso, who's been working with him for 6 years, and I have been working with Brian since February of 2020. It's been an amazing last 7 months. Phenomenal, life-changing, because of this information. The 7 universal laws that are controlling your results. The first being the law of vibration, right? Everything vibrates. Everything is constantly moving. If you take an atom and you break it down to its smallest particles, science doesn't even understand what holds it together. We don't get it. There's no explanation for it that we have right now. It's a law of vibration. Everything is constantly in vibration and moving. There's the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Now, this is something that we all use every day. And we all use all of these every day, whether you believe them or not. But the law of perpetual transmutation of energy pretty much says when you put energy into something, that something comes about. You are constantly turning energy into things. And thoughts are energy. So when you concentrate on something, that makes it become. The more you think about it, the more it happens. There's the law of polarity, the law of opposites. Everything has its equal and opposite action and reaction. We've all heard this in science, right? We know this. We've got the law of rhythms. Everything moves in a consistent, constant rhythm throughout the entire universe. You've got the law of gender. There's a male and female portion and part to everything. There is always a compatible portion of something that links with it to make it whole and make it work. Then we have the law of relativity, which says that everything is essentially relative and nothing is as huge or as small or as hard or as easy as we think it is. It's all relative to our experience and where we are. And then there's the law of gestation, which we've all heard when it comes to childbirth, when it comes to, farming and seeds and, everything that grows. There's a gestation period from the time it starts to the time it becomes, just like there is with any idea you've got. There's a time the thought happens, and there's a time set out to when it will become. Now, most of these things we know a little bit about already, right? Look at the earth compared to the moon, right? We're standing on the earth right now and we think it's massive. The earth is huge, humongous, to the point that just standing here and looking out across the horizon, you can't even see the curvature and where it starts, right? But compared to the moon, and it's big. The moon is small considering, right? Now, you take even the moon, who's smaller than the earth, and you compare that with just a little bit of a golf ball, little tiny thing, right? Yeah, gravity we can't explain either. Forgive me for missing pieces. Been an interesting day. The law of gravity we don't understand either, but it's a law. It just happens. It always will. We can't stop it, right? Whether you believe in the law of gravity or not really doesn't matter. It's there, right? The law of vibration, we're going to talk a lot more about today, but when it comes down to seeds, the law of vibration is a big, big portion of this, right? So that acorn there looks solid. It would feel solid if you were holding it in your hand, right? And if you looked at it through a microscope, then you would see that it's vibrating and shaking, and it's really not completely solid. If you could put yourself at a subatomic level, you could walk right through it, no problem. But see, a seed is condensed. It is at an extremely slow rate of vibration. It's a low rate of vibration. But when you bury it and you put it in the ground, that low level of vibration actually matches up with water, with the nutrients in the ground, with the other things that are around it, and begins to attract those things to it. And that vibration causes these things to come to it. And as those things build into it, it raises its vibration. And as your vibration goes up, you begin to grow. And so does a seed. As that vibration begins to pick up, that seed begins to grow. And it begins to get into something greater. This is how a tiny little acorn can become a massive oak tree. We don't understand how it happens. Science has no idea how a seed goes from where it's at, that small of a thing, to being this huge tree. All we know is that somewhere in its DNA, it understands how to get there. We understand that the law of vibration helps it to do so. That's all we know. Right? It's a phenomenal law. It's an amazing thing. Right? The universal law of vibration, the universal law of gravity is the exact same way. Whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't matter. I love hearing people say it, and Grant Cardone says it. I'm going to talk about it later. And says that he doesn't believe in the law of attraction. Well, that's like saying I don't believe in the law of gravity, right? Whether you believe in it or not, it happens. You take this gentleman here on this edge of this wall, if he just decides right now, today, I don't believe in gravity, and he decides to step off, he's probably not going to live much longer. Right? Gravity is going to take effect. The law of vibration is the exact same. Whether you believe in it or not really doesn't matter. The fact is, it's going to happen. And it's ignorance that keeps people from understanding how to use it properly. It's not a good or a bad thing. Ignorance is not a bad word, folks. Ignorance just means not taught. Right? It just means you haven't been shown yet. And schools don't teach these things. Right? The science of wealth building is how the top 1% of earners think, right? We already talked about that earlier. 97% of the world's wealth is made by 1% of the population. Now, look, I'm going to talk about this first ring here. When we get to the second ring and it gets completed, you're going to want to take a screenshot of it, okay? This is how the typical masses think. This is how normal people think, folks. Okay? Normal people look at their results. I call this, and well, I don't call it, Bob calls it, and I happen to like the way he puts it. It's report card syndrome, right? We look at the report card and we say, okay, this kid's making C's and D's. Well, then that's how we start treating them. This is a CD student. We put them in classes that are equal to those levels. We expect that kind of work out of them. We look at our results. As we grow up, we do the same thing. We're at work and we're looking at our results. Wow, I'm not making as much as I want. My bank account doesn't have as much as I needed. And I'm putting all of this time in, and this is where I'm getting. We look at the results first, and we allow those results to cause thinking. Those results cause us to start looking at, wow, I'm not good enough. I'm not making it yet. I'm not where I want to be. Right? That thinking leads to emotions, leads to feelings of not being worthy, not being deserving, not being good enough. And those feelings then cause actions. And the actions end up being the same thing that we've always done, because we think, well, you know what? This is where I'm at. This is who I am. This is what I do. I guess this is where I'm destined to be. And we allow ourselves to get stuck there. It doesn't have to be this way. If you don't take anything else from this entire talk tonight, I want you to take this, because it can change your life. If you understand it, you put it to use. What you need to do is you need to take this picture right here and you need to shift it by 90 degrees. So this is the way the top 1% think. We start with new thinking. You don't look at the results first. You look at the thoughts. You look at the thinking. You start with the thinking. Where do I want to be? Where am I going? What results do I want? You focus on where you're going. You don't drive your car looking in the rearview mirror. You don't look at where you've been to figure out where you're going. This is one of the biggest things that I teach, is that most people believe that who they are is an accumulation of their past results. They believe that who they are right now is the accumulation of all of their decisions, all of their, lifetime built together. That's not right. And if that's you today, if that's what you believe, please hear me now. That is not who you are. That is where you are. Yes. Where you are in life is definitely an accumulation of your past experiences and results and choices. That led you to where you are. Yes. You don't have to stay there. Who you are is who you choose to be every second of every day. Your past has nothing to do with who you are today. You choose that. And that may be a bit of a gut punch to some folks. I can hear some people already, but you don't know my past. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've done. You don't know who I've. These are all excuses that our subconscious mind uses to keep us chained to where we are. You choose every moment of every day who you want to be. You make the decision whether to go right or left at every moment, whether to move or whether to not move at every moment. You have full control over this. You need to start seeing it this new way, new thinking. You think about where you want to be. Focus on the result you want first. You allow that new thinking to then lead to new emotions. You look at where you're going. You look at where you want to be. You look at that goal that you're going after, and you allow that to build into the emotions. You allow that to excite you with where you're going and what you're doing. You let those emotions get built in. So you're excited every day to get up and to get going because you know what's in store, because you know that goal that you're chasing. And that new thinking into new feelings then causes new actions. Now you're doing something different than you did yesterday because you want to be greater, because you want to be better, because you saw that the results from yesterday weren't quite what you wanted. So you're going to do it a little different today because your thinking is looking in the right direction now. Your emotions are following that thinking. We call that praxis. When you line up the belief system with the actions, you get new action, and new action then results in new results. Now you get something different than what you've gotten before. Sometimes that's better, sometimes that's worse. Okay, that happens. Sometimes we make a bad decision to move forward on and it doesn't work out the way we think. Fine. It's okay. It's a lesson. Right? Successful people don't see failure as a person. When you make a mistake, that does not make you a failure. When a business fails, when an idea doesn't work out, that does not make you personally a failure. Failure is a situation. Failure is a decision that was made in the wrong direction. It's not a person. You learn from it, you move on. I like to tell people most people are superheroes. We're all superheroes. We all have a superpower built into us. We were all made to do something amazing and phenomenal. And we've all got a cape just like any other superhero. And most people take their failures, the things that they don't work out right, the decisions that they make that are not in line with where they want to be, and they take those boulders of failures and they toss them onto their cape and they're trying to drag them around by their throat and they can't get anywhere. They're letting them hold them down because they focus on the goop. They focus on the oops. What we need to do is take those boulders off of the cape, stack them up in front of us as steps to get up to the next level. You take them as lessons of learning and you move forward. You look at the goal of where you want to be and you chase that. You look at new thinking. You don't let your results dictate the thoughts. You let the thoughts start. Take a screenshot of this right here if you haven't. This one thing right here, if you will understand, if you will study, if you will work on, I guarantee you, it will change your life. Absolutely amazing information. Here's an interesting question for you. What does the mind look like? What does the mind look like? Right? If I ask you, what does your front door look like? You can describe it to me. What does your car look like? You can describe it. You can tell me how many wheels it has, what color it is, how many doors it has, what kind of engine it's got. You know all of it. Exactly, Alexander. We don't know. Most people, when you ask, what does the mind look like? They'll tell you brain, right? They first thing that comes to mind is a brain. We don't understand what the mind looks like. Right? So Bob Proctor was introduced to this particular image a while back, and I love it. We call it our stick figure, mind map. This is the best depiction of the human mind I have ever heard in my life. Look, the brain is a piece of meat, folks. Brain's a piece of meat. It is an electrical switching station. It is binary computer code. Everything is off or on. That's it. It's ones and zeros. That's not who you are. It's not your mind. This is your mind. You've got your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, and your body, right? So the conscious mind, this is where you have your own thought. This is where you choose how to think and what to think. Right? When new thought comes in, when new information comes in, your conscious mind chooses whether to allow it in or whether to dismiss it. And whether it allows it in or not changes whether it goes into the subconscious mind or not. Now, the subconscious mind, we don't have a lot of control over. The subconscious mind is emotional. Subconscious mind is automated. It is your operating system. It just happens. And when you want to change the operating system, you've got to change programs within it to make it do something new, right? You change those programs by consciously deciding what you allow in and what you don't on a repeated basis. The more you do so, the more consistent you are with it, the more it changes. And then the subconscious mind then feeds the body, which makes it take action, right? Now, the negative side of this, most people live in ignorance. They don't understand this information. They don't know that they have the control that they do. They don't understand how to use it. They don't get what they can do. And ignorance then leads to worry and doubt and negative thinking. How many people do you know? And I know, God knows, I was there. Man, I spent probably 35 years of my life being in worry and doubt of how do I do this? Can I do this? When am I going to finally get here? All of the negative. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm a screw up. Whatever it is, right? That leads to fear. It leads to being scared to take new actions because, man, I'm just going to screw it up. I'm just going to get it wrong like I have everything else. So why try? Right? And then that fear feeds into anxiety. Now, anxiety, we don't express. We don't express anxiety. We suppress it. We push it in. We don't want to admit to people that we're nervous, that we're anxious, that we don't know, that we're worried, we don't want to admit it. So we suppress anxiety. That leads us directly into procrastination. We don't want to step out and do it. If I take this chance, people are going to see that I'm nervous. They're going to see that I don't know. It allows all sorts of doubt to come into our mind. So we procrastinate. We make up all the excuses in the world on why we shouldn't go, why we shouldn't move, why we shouldn't change. And we can logically justify it to ourselves over and over again because it falls in to the paradigms that we're taught. It falls in with the programming that our subconscious minds believe is logic and truth. That procrastination then leads to depression. Because human beings, we are made to grow, to expand, to be greater. And when we're not, it hurts. Emotionally, physically, relationally. Look, we've all been there. I know everybody that's hearing this right now has been there and understands what I'm saying. When you're not growing, when you're not doing something greater, it hurts and you fall down. And we can fall into ourselves, and that causes depression. And if we allow that to stay, depression then turns into dis-ease, right? Always hyphenate that word. Disease is just a body not at ease. It is dis-ease. And it is caused by not being in line and being comfortable with who you are, and where you're going. It's caused by ignorance and worry and doubt. Science has proven this. You can ask any doctor in the world, they'll tell you the more you worry, the more negative your thinking is, the lower your immune system is, and the faster it is that you get sick. People who have full-on depression tend to get sick more often than people who do not. It's just a proven fact. This is why. It's all in your mind. It all starts there. So what's the other side of this? How do we get by it? We need knowledge. We need the understanding and positive thinking. We need to study this information, get it into our subconscious mind so it builds into the subconscious mind and causes us to take new actions through our body, right? And when you study it and you have positive thinking, the opposite of fear is then faith. Now, those of us who have been in business for a while, you already know this. And that's the funny part about it, is that most people know this stuff to some degree, but they don't lean on it. They don't use it. You know, if you believe in what you're doing, if you have faith in where you're going, that it's going to work out better than what it would if you didn't, right? We know this. We start off in our entrepreneurial journey with full-on faith and gusto and power. We are going for it. We're going to go get it. We know it can happen. And somewhere along that journey, sometimes we let it fall off. Well, if you continue studying, you continue increasing your knowledge and your understanding, you can keep that from happening. And then that faith builds into being able to stay calm in all situations. It leads to well-being. When I have faith in where I'm going, when I know what my business is doing, when I know where my big goals are, I don't need anxiety. I don't have to worry. I don't have to let fear happen. I know it's coming. No matter what happens around me, I can let that be. I don't have to worry about it. It's just a stumbling block. No big deal. I was hearing Brian and some of the other people in our group talking in our meeting last night or Monday night about be like water. Right now, I know this statement from Bruce Lee because I've been a martial artist for years. And Bruce Lee said to be like water, right? Water can fit into any vessel and becomes that shape, right? Water is soft and provides life, but given enough time, water can cut through rock, right? Be like water, let yourself flow. Well, it's the same thing here when you get to that calm, that well being. Be like water. As water's flowing down a river, there's a boulder in the way, there's a problem, doesn't bother the water any at all, goes around it, digs its way under it, goes over it, doesn't matter. Might cause a few rapids, might cause some bubbles, might cause a little bit of stir, but it doesn't matter. Just lets it go. Be like water. Just be calm. Let it happen. It's okay. Have faith in where you're going. And when you get this down and you stay with that calm, that builds acceleration. You start to grow. You start to build speed. You start to see things happen that you never would have imagined happen. It's a phenomenal process. That acceleration then, of course, leads to action. Things accelerate in your mind, things accelerate outside of you, things are growing. You're taking different actions and new actions, and you're growing. That's what the human body, the human mind, the human soul, this is what we were made to do, to grow, to become greater. And then, of course, that action then leads to being at ease. A body at ease, in line with itself. Your understanding, your faith, being able to stay calm, taking action, moving towards where you're supposed to be, puts you at ease, makes you comfortable. Many of you have spoke with me many times before, have seen this through me throughout the months. Even when things are rough, even when something bad happens at home in my mindset classes, I've talked about it. Rough times with my kids, rough times with my wife. It happens, right? But I can still learn from it. I'm calm through it. I can be at ease through it because I understand where I'm going. You can do the same thing. Again, another one of these that you need to take a screenshot of if you haven't yet. Amazing little picture to learn from. Look, I keep one literally right here at my desk with me all the time for me to study and to look over and to pay attention to. And when things start happening, I be sure and look at that. Which way am I going with it? Which side of this am I on right now? Which side do I need to be on? Amazing little figure there. So let me ask you this now. What does this picture look like to you? What is this, folks? Well, I know some of you are here. We've got a chat. Use it. What does this look like? Okay. Many have said fear, overwhelm, frustration. Right? Looks like the guy's got a headache. Right? And that's all about right. This is where most people live. They're thinking about their money. They're thinking about work. They're thinking about what they've got to study and where they've got to go and what they've got to do and letting everything build up all at once. This here is a picture of fear and not at ease. Absolutely. Absolutely not at ease. This is fear happening. This is so much going on at once, not knowing where it's going to go. This is doubt at work. Right? This right here is worry, frustration, annoyance, all of it. This is where the majority of people live right now. They let so much come flying into their mind all the time that they don't know where they're going. They're constantly frustrated, worried, concerned, not knowing what to do, where to go, how to do it. And instead of looking at their goal and looking at where they're going, they look at their current situation and all the things that are wrong. So, what's this a picture of then? Right? I'm sure most of you, if not everybody here, knows these people. Right? Success, absolutely. These are all definitely some very successful people. That's for sure. Right? So, this here is faith. Money, money. Yeah, definitely money. They've all definitely made their money. And they've made it because of this information, because of how they think. You know, Steve Jobs wrote that he woke up every day asking himself, do I enjoy what I'm doing today? And if the answer to that was no, too many days in a row, he changed it. Let's go do something else. Right? These people all had faith in where they were going. Steve Jobs started with what, $700 in a garage? That phone that most people hold in their hands, that Apple phone that some people have, I've got an Android personally, but the cell phone started as an idea in that man's mind. And look at where it's got him. Look at Oprah Winfrey. If you know her story, you know she came from a really, really rough background. She came from a bad place and has built herself up to being a billionaire because of her faith in what she could do and where she was going. Look at Elon Musk, for pity's sake. The man's going to populate Mars. He's got that kind of ambition and plan. He is funding his own space program because he wants to populate the planet of Mars. That's faith, folks. But I bet it's going to happen because he believes it's going to. And when you believe something that much, that's what makes it happen. You ask any one of these people what got them to where they are, the majority of them, if not all of these folks, will tell you, I knew I would be here from the get go. This was no choice. This is where I was going. Can you say that? Do you know where you're going? Do you have no other choice but to get to your big dream? If not, might want to reconsider. Might want to do some thinking about that because that's the way it should be. Now, levels of awareness are what keeps people from getting to where they need to be. Awareness is so important. People don't even realize it. You guys know that everything on earth that is, was, or ever has always been here? It's always been here. The Wright brothers did not invent flying. The Wright brothers became aware of how to put things together properly to make it happen. The internet has always been on this earth. We have always had it here. We just have not been aware of how to put it together to make it work. Everything that is man made revolves around this. It's awareness, right? Your levels of awareness. Look, some people, they're aware of how to make $50,000 a month or a year, right? People that make $50,000 a year, they don't make $50,000 a year because that's what they want to make. They make it because that's what they understand how to make. That's their level of awareness, right? They're not aware of how to make 100,000. Even those that are making 100,000 aren't aware of how to make 250,000. There's levels of awareness to all of it. And most people think they have to do it incrementally. You have to start at the $50,000 a year. You have to work your way up to finally get into the $250,000 a year and slowly build your way up until you get to the bigger amounts, right? Well, that's not true. You don't have to wait. You don't have to have increments, right? That is one of the fallacies that people buy into that holds them back. When you are making $50,000 a year and you set your goal at hitting that $100,000 or that $50,000 a year, and that's what you're going for, and you only hit 90,000. You didn't quite get there. Now, if you would have set that goal for 5 million a year and you happen to fall short at only 3.5 million, would you consider that a loss still? Of course not. You don't have to take every step along the way. Pick the one you want and chase it. This has also got to do with the law of relativity that I was talking about earlier as well. The world seems so big. $5 million seems so big. $1 million seems so huge. $50,000 a month? How? That's massive. But it's not. There is no large or small amount of money. There's just an amount. 50,000 may seem huge to you. To Warren Buffett, it's 15 minutes of work. He makes that just by rolling out of bed. 10K a month, he can pull that out of the couch's change and not care. You could steal $30,000 from Warren Buffett. He wouldn't know it was gone until the accountant did the paperwork at the end of the year. There is no big or small amount. It's just an amount. And as long as you see an amount as huge, as big, as massive, you're going to have trouble getting it. Because your mind's not going to allow you to get to something that you think is out of your reach. Right? The world, the globe, the earth seems so big to us. You compare it to a golf ball, it's massive. This golf ball is a little bitty thing, right? Little tiny thing. The earth is this huge, massive, freaking celestial being. Well, take that earth and compare it to the entire galaxy. Now, how big is it really? This is the law of relativity, folks. The earth is nothing but a speck of stardust in the entire cosmos of being. And yet we see it as such a massive object. Compared to the moon, it's huge. Compared to the sun, not so big. Compared to the galaxy, hold on, I'll dig a piece of something out from under my fingernail here, and that's about how big the earth is compared to all of it. It's all relative. So, what is this here? I love this picture. I really do. I don't know whose kid this is, but it's an awesome picture. I love the look on this kid's face, right? Babies are amazing things. They're blank slates, right? But what this is, it really, in the end, is you. Your current level of awareness. It's where you are. You're still fairly flesh. You don't understand how to have and how to do the greater things that you want just yet. I've been there. I'm still this baby in many ways. I've got a lot to learn, and I know it. And recognizing that is part of what keeps me growing and being better. Right? Babies are an absolutely amazing thing. Now, if you took this child and you told this baby, go get dressed, he wouldn't be able to do it, would he? You know, that would be what most of us would be considered impossible. He's not aware of how to dress himself yet. Doesn't have the right coordination, doesn't have the right mind, can't do it. Not aware of it yet. Give him a couple of years, he'll be doing it left and right. Look at some of us. Shoot, I can get dressed in the dark, not even thinking about it, right? We all can. Now, what's this? I love this one too. See this one here, this is also you. This is also us, me. This is us trying something new. Trying new things. This baby trying his damnedest to learn to feed himself. He's getting it everywhere but in his mouth. He's going all over the place. But he's trying something new. He's learning. He's getting the hang of it. He's trying to go. There's some amazing things that you can learn from this. Right? There's a mess going on all over the place. Now, if you've got your own kids, you've seen this before. If you've got younger siblings, Maybe you've seen this before if you're old enough, right? And to a parent, sometimes it can be a little frustrating. Oh, I got to clean that crap up, right? But do you ever just relax, sit back, and let it happen? Just watch. This kid's having a ball right now. Look at his face. He's excited. He's happy to be trying this new stuff and to be learning new things. You watch children as they go out and explore and as they try things out. They're having fun doing it. That's the way it should be. Are you having fun trying out new things, learning to do something greater and bigger and better? He's failing miserably. This kid's got food everywhere, but he's enjoying it. He's not down on himself and upset and angry because he's failing. But somewhere along the lines, that's what we learn to do to ourselves. We start getting upset and frustrated that we're not there. Enjoy it, please. It's worth it. Makes the ride so much better. And it's not your fault that this is the way it is. You didn't ask for it. The paradigms that are built into you right now are not your fault. You did not put them there. You didn't choose for them to be there for the most part. Now, some of you, if you've worked with me long enough, you've started making choices to change some of this, which is amazing. Some of you, if you've been studying Bob's information or other people's stuff, you've started to get an idea for how to start controlling these things and to start adjusting your paradigms to what you want them to be. And thank God for it. I'm glad you have. Because the paradigms that were there initially are not your fault. You didn't place them, right? Just like I was talking about earlier, you didn't choose when to speak the first language that you spoke. You were taught it. You acquired it. It came. You were just this baby, this blank slate. And it was fed into you through parents, through friends, through schools. Now, this little baby right here can grow up to be somebody just like Mr. Warren Buffett here. Now, if you were Warren Buffett's child, do you think that you would have a slightly different understanding of finances and be in a different financial situation? Right? Of course you would. Because you would have a different level of awareness. You would have had different paradigms built into you. So you would have handled them completely differently. Right? That's what we need to do. Is start shifting those to become what you want to become through study, through taking new actions, through having faith in where you're going, through taking the time to stay persistent with it so that you can raise your levels of awareness to become something better. I am the product of what I teach. I am myself an example of somebody who went from being homeless at the age of 17, sleeping in the bathroom stalls of a Walmart, waiting from morning for my friends to pick me up on the way to work and try and nap in their cars until they got off work so we could go hang around for the night and being dropped back off at Walmart again because I had nowhere to go. To then starting a family, having to get into a semi truck and leave my family to go driving over the road 6 weeks at a time, sometimes being gone. I missed some of my children's first words, Christmas programs, birthdays, holidays, because I was driving over the road because I felt that's what I had to do. I had no other choice at that point to make that kind of money to take care of my family. That's the way I felt. To now being able to make $25,000 or more every month consistently working from home and living a life that I never dreamed of. Look, it may not look at me today, and it may sound kind of funny or stupid coming from it, but I was a little thug back in the day. I run around with the gangs. I carried a gun. I sold drugs. I was an idiot. And here I am today living the life of my dreams and helping other people to do the same thing. Because of the information that Bob has taught me when I started with him and learning from him, watching just YouTube channels and then moving in to working with Brian and learning this stuff even more so to getting to where I'm at now. Anybody can do this. God, let me tell you, if this dumbass high school dropout GED earning truck driver can learn to do what we do, anybody can do it. And you can do it with anything you're doing, any business you've got, any dream you've got. Bob Proctor says it. Brian says it. I say it now because I know it. You give me any dream that you have, any goal that you want, I can show you how to get it. It's all about mindset. It's all about where your head's at. It's all about how you think about things. Perfect examples of this every day. You want to live the life that you want. You want to own this house. You want to own the house of your dreams. Have what you want. Live on your terms. It's all mindset. 95% of wealth is mindset. Only 5 of it is what you do. Only 5%. Proven every day. Here, let me prove it to you. Right? You see this? You got stockbrokers. You got stock traders, man. We've all seen the movies. We've seen the pictures. Maybe some of you have actually been to Wall Street and seen it. You walk into the New York Stock Exchange, man, and these people are just going nuts, yelling, screaming, waving their hands, ripping off papers, taking notes. They're trading, buying, selling over and over again. Some of them are making $250,000 a year. Some of them are making maybe $1 million a year. But that's what they know how to do. So you can be a stock trader or you can be a stock trader. Right? Warren Buffett, that's where he made the majority of his money starting. He's significantly well past those guys that are hustling and bustling there on the stock exchange floor, don't you think? What's the difference? They're all trading stocks. Mindset. Right? Real estate. Real estate's a popular one. A lot of people are in real estate. And a lot of people are making some good money in real estate. Right? If you're a real estate agent, there's nothing wrong with that, man. People are making some good money. Some people are making a good $1 million, $2 million, $5 million a year investing in real estate, and they're doing well for themselves, and that's great. But you can be in real estate here, or you can be in real estate and you can fly a jet with Uncle G. That's how he makes the majority of his billion that he's got, just through real estate. Big difference in mindset, and it's amazing again that Grant here will tell you he doesn't believe in the law of attraction. That it's just a bunch of crap, but he uses it every day. You listen to him talk. You listen to the way he teaches. He understands it. He's what we call an unconscious competent. He's not aware that that's what he's doing to make it happen. Right? Mindset, all of it. Network marketers. Network marketers are a big one. You take network marketers. I don't know if you guys are in network marketing companies. I am. If you're looking to get into multiple streams of income, network marketing is the greatest way to do so. Cheap little side pitch here. Right. Let me know. I can help out with that. Got the easiest freaking thing in the world to sell. But Bob Proctor has said himself that if he had to start all over again from the beginning, he would jump into network marketing as quick as possible because that's just where the money is. That's where the majority of people are making it because there's so many multiple streams of income built into each network marketing company, let alone how many different marketing companies you can get with. Right. So you can be a network marketer and you can get to where you're making that $10,000, $15,000 a month residual maybe after a few years. Or, you can be a network marketer like Mr. Alex Morton here. Alex Morton here is 7-figure per month earner in network marketing. He's also a student of Bob Proctor's. He mentees under him directly. It's all mindset. It's all it is. It's the way they think about it. It's the way they go about it. It's where their minds are. And it all starts in your head. It all starts in the way you think. Every one of these folks also understands the 3 different types of income strategies. Now, this is going to be important here. This is where things start to get big. When you want to take where you're at and grow it into something better. There are 3 different income strategies. Now, if you watch Bob Proctor enough, some of you may know these already, right? But M1 is trading time for money, right? Roofers, they make an income based on their time spent doing things. You take school teachers, they're trading time for money. Even those that we see as massively successful, and you talk about doctors and lawyers, these people are still under M1 concepts. They're still trading their time for money. A doctor doesn't get paid for a surgery that happens while he's sleeping. He gets paid for the surgery he does, right? It's still an M1 income. Now, you've got the M2 income, which is investing, using money to make money. Now, this is where most people stop. They see, okay, investing, use money to make money. This is where I need to be. This is where I should be. Okay. And it's definitely better than trading time for money. Absolutely. The problem with this is that this particular portion of income relies a lot on chance. It's almost gambling at times. You're going to invest into things, but it's possible that thing could slip right out from under you. It's possible that what you invest in could fall apart or change. You invest in real estate, it's possible that building could burn down and you're done. You've got an insurance compensation, but you don't have any more passive income coming from it. It's gone. So, what we need to do is move on to the M3 strategy, right? And M3 is multiple streams of income. This is where you really start to pick up. This is the secret to the extremely wealthy. Multiple streams of income. Many people right now, because of this COVID thing, are learning they wish they had multiple streams of income because they're losing a job and they have nothing else coming in. This is why network marketing companies are so great, because you can do them part-time. And even part-time, you can build up to a 10K a month residual income fairly simply. And now you've got that income on top of what you're doing, and maybe even build it up to a point where you can leave your job and start pursuing something you'd rather be doing and be happy with your life instead of working a job you hate, and build multiple streams of income. Right? Alex Morton, Grant Cardone, all of them multiple streams. You look at Warren Buffett, multiple streams, right? He's got money coming in from buying and selling businesses, from trading stocks, from everything that he's doing. That's where it's at. Social medias, all multiple streams of income. Every one of those places, right? Facebook has, well, they've got their ads, they've got their pages, they've got, everything else that they've got coming in. They've got stuff from Instagram coming in. There's multiple streams. The games that they've got playing, there's always stuff coming in. That's why they make the money. Amazon, massive example of that, right? Now, this is where thinking into results comes into play. This is the mental toolbox created by the world's most successful people, right? We've got over 125 years worth of the most successful people in the world who have come together to put this information together to be able to mentor you into getting where you want to be. And we've all had mentors. Everybody's had mentors. Nobody gets there without it, right? So the 12 lessons of thinking into results here, we've got lesson 1, which is goal setting, and learning to set those worthy goals. Learning to set goals for what they really are. Most people don't set goals. Most people make plans and they call it a goal. You don't understand the difference in that? Shoot me a message later or talk to the person that sent you here after this. They can probably explain it because I've explained it to them, right? Lesson 2 is the knowing and doing gap, right? How many of you right now, and I'm telling you, I know there are people here, I can see it. I want to see stuff in the chat right now. I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you know right now that if you gave just 10% more effort to whatever it is you're doing, you would see massive differences in results within the next couple of weeks. How many of you know that? How many of you are honest enough to know that? Right? Absolutely. Every dang one of you. I know it. Give just a little bit more effort in whatever you're doing, and you could see some massive big changes in where you're going. This is the knowing doing gap. We all have those things that, well, I know I should, but I'll get to that in a minute. Right? I probably shouldn't be doing this, but well, what the hell? Right? We do it. It's human nature. But the more you can shrink that knowing doing gap, and you're doing more of what you know you should, the farther you're going to get. Right? There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Now, here's the funny part when it comes to coaching. Most of us know the path. Most of us know what we should be doing. When my coaching sessions, the majority of it is questions I'm asking, and people are telling me the answers themselves. They know what they should be doing. That knowing doing gap is a massive, massive obstacle for a lot of people. So then we've got lesson 3. And lesson 3 is your infinite mind and learning to understand the power behind it and what it's got. You have access to all knowledge and everything that ever was, ever will be, or ever has been. I know that may sound far fetched to some people, but I'm telling you, it's there. You ask science, and they'll tell you that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It always is, always was. It's just constantly moving into form, through form, and out of form. You ask somebody who's got a religious background, and they'll tell you that God always is, always was, always will be, can't be created or destroyed. It's just constantly moving into form, through form, and out of form. No matter which side you look at it, this energy that is around us is always there. Thoughts are energy. We can measure them. They'll put those little things on your head and they can measure your brain waves, just like they can measure a radio wave. They are physical things, they are energy. If energy can't be created or destroyed, always was, always will be, then that means that thought energy, the energy that is constantly around us at all times, is connected to everything. So you have access to anything and everything that you will ever need to get where you want to go. You just have to believe it. And we teach you how to get there. Lesson 4 is your inner potential. Learning to understand what's inside you and what you can do and who you are. One of my favorite lessons, absolutely amazing, amazing lesson to go through. Right? Lesson 5 is your environment. How to not let things outside of you control your emotions. How to keep yourself where you need to be no matter what's going on around you. Lesson 6 then is your self-image and leadership. You ever met anybody who was massively successful who wasn't a good leader? Right? You ever heard of anybody who was massively successful that wasn't a good leader? Doesn't happen. Right? Because a good leader, a strong, successful person, builds other people up around them. And the more you build other people up around you, the more you go up. The rising tide raises all ships. But you've got to see yourself as that first, which is why self-image is so important. Right? Lesson 7 is overcoming fear and procrastination, learning to understand this mind map and how it works and what you can do with it to make it happen, getting through that terror barrier. Lesson 8 is praxis, how to line up your thoughts and your actions, your beliefs all together to make them into what you want them to be. Right? I've given this enough times that I should know this by now, but unfortunately I don't. But I'll have the recording up on YouTube and sent out, so you'll be able to go back through it and get all of these. If anybody else caught what 4 was, put it out there. I don't have it all quite memorized as I should just yet. Lesson 9 is attitude and perspective. And this one's just absolutely amazing. This is one of those ones. There you go, inner potential. That's right. Lesson 4 is inner potential, knowing what you're capable of and learning to see the true power that's in you. Lesson 9 about attitude and perspective is absolutely massive. We all know this, but again, how much do we actually follow it and do it, right? When you have the right attitude, the right perspective about something, it just goes better. Even when something doesn't seem right and something seems bad, having a good attitude or having the right perspective on it, you can find a way to make it all right, to be able to move through it. We talk about how to get that done and how to make that a habit. Lesson 10, the most valuable person there is. Who do you think that is? Please tell me you know. You better know by the time we get to this point in this. Who's the most valuable person? You're damn right, Alejandro. Thank you. Yourself. And seeing that. Look, some people see this as maybe being selfish, maybe being self-centered at times. But if you're a parent, you understand this already. And I know a lot of parents will say, "Well, I put my children before myself." No, you don't. And if you're honest with yourself, you know that you don't. Because if you don't take care of you right, you're not taking care of them right. If you're not taking care of you right, you're not taking care of your business right. You got to understand that. You got to take care of you, and you got to put you first in some cases. That way you can be who you need to be in those situations to be able to take care of your clients, your children, your business, your family, whatever it is. You got to take care of you first to get there. Lesson 11 is the impression of increase. And this is my favorite lesson of all of them. Any of you who have talked to me personally know this. The impression of increase is leaving everybody that you come in contact with feeling like they were better off for having been there. It is my favorite lesson. It is the one that I take to heart most. Everybody knows that knows me well enough that I am the go giver. I am the one that I give more than I ask for. I do so much to try to help people out because I know that due to the law of reciprocation, due to the law of vibration, due to the law of polarity, that it's all going to come back. Right? If you haven't read the book, The Go Giver, yet, go do so. It is an amazing book. That whole thought process built me to where it started building me up to where I am now. And I know that it is, Christina. I know. I love where you're going with things and what you're doing. It's amazing to see. But yes, the impression of increase, it is a proven thing. You look at anybody who's massively successful and they give, they give, they give. Warren Buffett gives away 97% of his income every year to charity. Yes, there are some tax benefits to doing so. And yes, that is probably a portion of why he does so, but that doesn't change the fact that he does it and it helps millions of people for it. Bill Gates, the same thing. The Go Giver is the name of the book. It's a short little book. It's only like 148 pages. I read it in a night, and I'm not a reader. So, amazing book, easy to read, great story. Lesson 12 then is the mastermind principle. Mastermind principle is really what ties all of this together. Brian Dalmasso is the CEO of 5 different businesses, one of which is a software company. Now, Brian will tell you outright, I don't know crap about software. I don't know anything about programming. I'm not a video game player. I don't do crap with my phone, but send people text messages and check my email. But he owns a gaming software company. And he put it together in an afternoon on a weekend. Put together an entire business in an afternoon because of the mastermind principle. You don't have to know how to do everything that you need to do to get your dream. You just need to know the people that know how to make it happen. You need to know how to find it to get there, right? Henry Ford was one of the best examples of this. Henry Ford was dumb. He was not a smart man. He was what I think 3rd grade educated, right? He wasn't very intelligent. He was actually taken to court at one point in time. If you read the book Think and Grow Rich, you know this. He was taken to court at one time. Henry Ford was, because they told him he was not intelligent enough to run his business, and they were trying to take it from him. And they were asking him all of these stupid questions about history and about math and about science, trying to prove that he wasn't mentally capable of running his business. And he stopped and he asked the lawyer a couple of questions about business and about what was going on. And the lawyer couldn't answer. He's like, look, I don't need to know how an engine works. I just need to know the people that know how to make it happen. I don't need to know how to put the car together myself. I just need to know the right kind of people that know how to make it happen. This is the same thing with the mastermind principle. You just need to know the right people, and we teach you how to use it, how to harness that, how to take all of it, tie it together, and find what you need to really make the best of your situation to get to the dream you want, right? So, guys, get back with whoever sent you to this webinar today. If anything that we have talked about today resonates with you, if you want to know more about it, book a strategy session with one of us, either one of my guys or myself. Most likely, I'll probably be a part of it, regardless if it's one of our guys or not, just so I can make sure that we're all getting information out smoothly. Talk to us about it. All right. Get to know what this could do for you. All right. Just take a minute and over this information that we've gotten, imagine the life that you could have. When you start putting these principles into play and you start living the life that you want and not the life you think you have to, right? You want a place like this with the yacht? You know, I saw a neat little post on Facebook the other day, and I wanted this dude had a yacht that the side of it opened up, and he was pulling his little fishing boat into the yacht. Yes, that's the one I want. Right? Pulled up right beside the house here. You can have this life. Have whatever vehicle you want. Live wherever you want. You can have the life of your dreams if you want it bad enough. Right? You want the Bentley, you want the Roll, you want a jet. I can show you how to get there. Right? Go to all the resorts that you want to, travel the world, live the laptop lifestyle. Sit at home enjoying the company of your significant other because you can. You don't have to travel the world. You don't have to drive a frickin' Rolls to enjoy your life. Live the life you want. Most people are living the life they feel they have to live based on what they feel is responsibility or other people have taught them to do, and they're not living the way they choose to live. Use this information. Take your goal, get it into your mind, dig that goal into your subconscious. That way it becomes part of your vibration and builds out into all of the things that you want for your life. Every bit of it. It's just like having a magnet. The law of vibration. It's just the law of attraction is a secondary law to the law of vibration. You take your goals, you get them embedded in your mind, you put them into action through a higher vibration level, and you begin to attract all of the things that you need to get you there. It happens as soon as you make the decision. That's where most people fall short. They want to think about it. Well, I'm going to consider it. Well, that sounds good. Well, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. They hem haw about it. You got to make the decision. All right, look, take the greatest example I've got is this is the tightrope walk. I love this story, and many of you have heard it already. You can hang up now if you're done with it. You take a 12 by 2 board, 12 inches wide, 2 inches thick, lay it on the ground in your front yard. Could you walk across that board, staying on the wood without ever stepping off onto the yard? 10-foot long, 12 inches wide, 2 inches thick. You could walk right across that, never touch the grass once, easy. Right? It's a foot wide. Wouldn't be hard to do. Take that same 2x4 board, put it about 4 foot in the air between two ladders. Now, could you walk across that same board? Stay on the wood without falling off? Of course you could. 4 foot in the air is no big deal. Who cares? You walked across it once, you know you can. Doesn't hurt a thing. Now take that same board and string it between two buildings 40 feet in the air. Now can you walk across it? Of course, the answer is yes, you can. Most people won't. They'll get up close to the edge and they'll put 1 foot on that board and they look and they think, I'm going to fall. That's a long way to fall. What if I fall? If I fall, I'm going to die. And all they're thinking is fall. And so the subconscious mind says, okay, you want to fall. And the second you go to take a step, your knees get weak, you start shaking, you back off because you've already convinced yourself it's what's going to happen. It's the law of magnetism. This is exactly what we do to ourselves. We create our own destiny. Now take that same situation, that same board, 40 foot in the air between two buildings, and set the building that you're standing on fire so you can't go back down. You're going to go across that board now? Wouldn't even think about it. Phew, right on across it. You already know you can. You wouldn't hesitate. You wouldn't think about it. Shoot, this building's on fire. I'm gone. Bye. And you get it done. It's no different than it was before the building was on fire. You can do it. Just have to know it. Just have to have faith enough that I'm going to make it to that side. You need to have a goal, a dream big enough that it lights your building on fire so you have no choice but to get across that damn board and make it happen. Do you have that? If you don't, make sure you book a call with one of our guys. Let us help you find that. But you got to make the decision. You got to decide. When that building was on fire, you decided, I'm going to live. I'm going to make it across there. And so it happened. You make the decision, I'm going to make this happen. Your mind starts putting together how to make it happen. But you got to make a decision. Nobody got successful just sitting around considering. You got to move. And then you can start to attract and to build and to bring to yourself everything you want. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Most people know this quote by Henry Ford, and it's true. Whether you believe you can or not is what's going to be. So what decision are you making? Are you going to make the decision to make your life what you want it to be and to be something better and to let us help you to get there and to build something greater? Or are you going to decide to stay where you're at and hope you figure it out? Which you will one day if you want it bad enough. I admit that. You could stay right where you're at, not get any help, not come learn and not take it to the next level so that you can get there faster. You'll get there if you got the right drive. And you want it bad enough, you'll get there. It's going to take you longer. Right? The information and thinking into results will take you there. It will show you that you can. It can get you to having the life that you want. The information and thinking into results can help you to build the life of your dreams. Can help you to take whatever you're doing right now and build it into whatever you want it to be. The information and thinking into results and how to think the way the top 1% earners in the world do will help you to produce better than you are now and grow into one of those top 1% as fast as you choose to do so, so long as you're moving. This information has worked thousands of times. It is scientific. It is provable. It is repeatable. It is not my opinion. It's not Bob's opinion. This is proven fact. It's laws. Just like gravity, just like light, just like heat, it is. In 85 years, Bob has never seen anyone achieve success without a mentor and a proven system. I can stand next to that. I've been there. I tried to do it on my own for a long time. It can be done. But it's not going to happen fast enough to get to the extent that you'd like it to be. Right? Alex has had mentors. He works with Bob right now. Grant Cardone has had mentors. Bob Proctor has had mentors. None of these guys have gotten to where they're at right now without a mentor. Brian hasn't gotten to where he's at without a mentor. He's had many. Still working with Bob to this day. Bob had mentors. Earl Nightingal had mentors. Everybody. Warren Buffett has had mentors. It's how you beat the system and get there faster, by learning from people who have been there already. Even Jesus himself had mentors. Sir, the prayer the night before, he was seen by a couple of the disciples. He was talking to Moses, talking to Elijah, right? He turned to mentors as well. Everybody. It's the way it is. Brian's been working with Bob now for about 7 years. I've been working with Brian just since February. Bob and I, Brian, we can mentor you in our proven system over the next 6 months that will guarantee to move you towards your big dreams and goals and whatever it is that you want to get to. Yeah. Mr. Albert Einstein said one of The definitions of insanity was doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You're going to keep living your life, keep doing it the way that you are doing it, and keep struggling and fighting to hope you get there, or you're going to get help. Don't live this way. Stop this. Make the decision to change your life. Make the decision to be so much more than what you've ever been before, and to go in a direction that you haven't before, because what you've tried hasn't gotten you to where you're at. It's just a proven fact, folks, that where we are right now in our lives, where you are, where I am, where everybody is, it's what we know how to do. It's where our level of awareness is. And in order to grow beyond that, we have to be able to get new information, to get new ways of thinking, to raise our levels of awareness and our vibration into a next level so that we can start to bring the next level to us. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you listening in. I hope you got something good out of this that you can take and do something with today to make your life into something greater. And I hope that you decide to schedule a call with one of my guys, with myself. Sit down, let's talk, let's see what we can do to take you to where you need to be next. Now, yes, some of our higher level programs are a little bit up there in price. That's fine. If you decide you want to get it done, we'll get it done. Others are not. We can meet anybody where they are. We've got something that can help anybody in any level where they're at. So don't let that stop you from talking to us and find out how you can get to where you want to go. Because the only thing that's ever going to stop you from getting there is you deciding to not take action on what you need done. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to talking with you all. Thank you again so much for being here today. It's been absolutely amazing. And I will get this recording out to everybody as well who has been here. I hope y'all have an amazing evening, and I look forward to speaking with you. Take it easy, folks. And remember, no matter what you do, no matter where you're going, where you see yourself is where you're going to be.